Right, Cairns sitting at 26 degrees while Hobart nudging 30. Yeah, you heard that right. Is your city about to cop the most unusual weather pattern we've seen this summer? Because right now, the Bureau of Meteorology has severe weather warnings active across 3 states, affecting over 8 million Australians, and what's developing in the Coral Sea could change everything for the East Coast by Wednesday. I am going to tell you exactly when this hits your area in the next 60 seconds. But first, chuck your location in the comments right now, because tomorrow I'll be giving personalised forecasts for every single city you mention. Sydney, you are looking at showers arriving Tuesday afternoon around 3 p.m, heaviest overnight into Wednesday. Melbourne, dry until Wednesday arvo, then a cold front smashes through. Brisbane and the Gold Coast, patchy rain Monday night, but the real action doesn't kick off until Thursday. Perth, you've got clear skies locked in for the next 5 days. Adelaide, Wednesday morning brings your change, clearing by evening. Hobart, that warm spell continues until Thursday. Darwin, typical build-up conditions with afternoon storms daily. Canberra drops from 32 Tuesday to 22 Thursday. Now, here's the thing about what's happening in the Coral Sea. There is a developing tropical low that's got the models in complete disagreement. Access is showing this system tracking south-southeast toward the Queensland coast, potentially intensifying into a Category 1 cyclone by Wednesday. But the European model reckons that it'll drift east, staying well offshore and fizzling out over cooler waters. This 100-kilometre difference in the track changes everything for Townsville, Mackay and the Whitsundays. We should have much better clarity by tomorrow morning model runs, so definitely check back then. Let me give you the current situation across northern Queensland. Cairns has picked up bugger all rain lately, sitting at just 9 millimetres for the month. Mount Carbine, you've been absolutely belted, 381 millimetres for January. But Humpty-Doo in the Northern Territory, 178 millimetres since Friday night, and it is still coming down. Catherine and Alice Springs, typical wet season mode with afternoon thunderstorms. For southeast Queensland, it's been a dismal wet season so far. Brisbane, Ipswich, the Scenic Rim, you're all sitting well below average. Kumbaba and Jimbumba, I've seen your comments about trees struggling. Monday night into Tuesday, there is a chance of some patchy rain, but I am taking the bomb 10 millimetre forecast with a massive pinch of salt. The Gold Coast, Sunshine Coast and Toowoomba are in the same boat. Bundaberg and Hervey Bay, hot and humid with that sticky feel. Gladstone and Rockhampton, afternoon storms possible Tuesday and Wednesday. At around the 8-minute mark, I am going to show you the one location that could cop something completely unexpected this week, so stick around for that. Now, let's talk about New South Wales. Newcastle, you've got that trough west and southwest, very slow moving. Monday brings 20 to 30 millimetres. Tuesday, storms develop. Some could be severe with large hail and damaging winds. Maitland and the Hunter Valley, same pattern. Sydney, Wollongong, Central Coast, rain arrives Tuesday afternoon, 15 to 30 millimetres, heavier if storms develop. Western Sydney and Penrith might see up to 40 millimetres. Coffs Harbour, that east coast trough, sits just offshore Tuesday and Wednesday. Could go either way, either 30 to 50 millimetres or just 5 to 10. Port Macquarie and Taree, similar situation. Wagga Wagga, Albury, much calmer week. Isolated storms Thursday and Friday. Dubbo, Orange, Bathurst, dry until Thursday. Carcoar, I saw you hit 38 degrees yesterday. You'll get relief midweek. Actually, hang on, let me clarify that Central Coast forecast. The latest access run has shifted that rain band slightly north, so possibly 40 to 60 millimetres Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. This is one to watch closely. Victoria, Melbourne, you've been bone dry. Wednesday afternoon, a vigorous cold front crosses the state. Melbourne CBD, 20 to 30 millimetres, heavier in the Dandenongs, possibly 50 to 70 millimetres. Strong westerly winds, gusts to 80 kilometres an hour, maybe 90 on the coast. Geelong, Torquay, Lorne, Wednesday evening brings 25 to 40 millimetres. Ballarat and Bendigo, lighter falls, 10 to 20 millimetres. Shepparton, 5 to 15 millimetres. South Australia, Adelaide, your change arrives Wednesday morning around 7 a.m, 15 to 25 millimetres through the day. The Adelaide Hills could see 30 to 40 millimetres. Mount Gambier cops it first Tuesday night, 20 to 30 millimetres. Port Augusta and Whyalla, just 5 to 10 millimetres. But strong winds Wednesday, gusts to 70 km an hour. Western Australia, Perth, you re-locked into stable high pressure. Clear skies, Fremantle Doctor keeping the coast comfortable around 28 to 30 degrees. Kalgoorlie, Uree pushing 38 to 40 degrees daily. Bunbury, Geraldton, beautiful conditions. Broome, full wet season mode. Afternoon storms most days, heavy at times. Tasmania, Hobart, Uree experiencing an unusual warm spell. 30 degrees today, warmer than Darwin. This hangs around until Thursday when a cold front breaks through. Launceston and Devonport, a few degrees cooler but still well above average. Friday brings that southerly change, dropping Hobart back to 22 degrees. Northern Territory, Darwin, textbook build-up conditions. Morning sunshine, humidity climbing, storms mid to late afternoon producing massive rainfall rates. Catherine, same deal. Alice Springs, afternoon storms, hit and miss. Now, if you haven't already, drop your city in the comments. Tomorrow, I'm going through every single comment and giving detailed forecasts. It takes time, but I reckon it's worth it to give you exactly what you need for your area. Let me get back to that Coral Sea development. The system currently sits about 800 kilometres east-northeast of Cairns. Sea surface temperatures are 29 degrees, plenty warm enough for development. Upper level conditions are marginally favourable. The key question is steering currents. Access has a ridge building to the south, forcing this system west-southwest toward the coast. The European model has that ridge positioned further east, allowing the system to track south-southeast away from the coast. GFS is somewhere in between. This is a classic scenario where we need another 12 to 24 hours of data. Townsville, Mackay, Whitsundays, Airlie Beach, Proserpine stay across this. Not saying it's definitely going to impact you, but the potential is there. If it does intensify and track toward the coast, we re-looking at Thursday into Friday with heavy rainfall, possibly 200 to 400 millimetres. Damaging winds and storm surge for exposed coastal areas would also be concerns. Check back tomorrow because I'll have much more specific information once we see tonight's model runs. Across Queensland inland, the Whitsundays and Proserpine have had scattered storms but nothing organised. Emerald and the Central Highlands, hot and dry, mid to upper 30s. Longreach, Charleville, Barcaldine, 40 to 42 degrees, no relief. Mount Isa, 40-degree days. The Gulf Country, Normanton, Burketown storms are hit and miss, but producing heavy falls when they fire up. New South Wales coast, the far north coast, Tweed Heads, Byron Bay, Lismore, Casino storms Tuesday and Wednesday, some could be severe. Storm-ready preparations recommended. The south coast, Bega, Narooma, Ulladulla, light showers. Tuesday, heavier Wednesday. The southern tablelands, Goulburn, Cooma, Yass, Wednesday brings 10 to 20 millimetres. The Snowy Mountains, Thredbo, Perisher, warm week, no rain until Thursday. Victoria in more detail, the Bellarine Peninsula, Wednesday evening, strong winds and heavy rain. Could see localised flooding. The Yarra Valley, Wednesday afternoon storms could be severe, large hail possible. Gippsland, Sale, Bairnsdale, Lakes Entrance, Wednesday night into Thursday, 20 to 40 millimetres. Mildura and the Mallee, maybe 5 millimetres Wednesday. Horsham and the Wimmera, 10 to 20 millimetres. South Australia beyond Adelaide, the Fleurieu Peninsula, McLaren Vale, Victor Harbour. Wednesday morning brings squally showers and strong winds. The Barossa Valley, 15 to 25 millimetres. The York Peninsula, 10 to 15 millimetres Wednesday. The mid-north, just 5 to 10 millimetres, but Monday, 35 degrees, drops to Thursday, 23 degrees. The southeast, Millicent, Narracourt, Bordertown, 20 to 35 millimetres Tuesday night into Wednesday. Western Australia beyond Perth, Esperance and the south coast, pleasant mid-20s. Albany, beautiful weather. Mandurah and Rockingham, classic Perth summer. The Wheat Belt, mid-30s. The Goldfields, stinking hot, very dry. Carnarvon, isolated storms possible but unlikely. Karratha and the Pilbara, afternoon storms some days. There's one thing that got me concerned. The models are showing a secondary low developing in the Tasman Sea by Friday. This is separate from everything else I've talked about. If this develops as Access suggests, coastal New South Wales from Newcastle to Eden could see another round of heavy rain Friday into Saturday, potentially 30 to 60 millimetres on top of Tuesday and Wednesday falls. The European model isn't sold on this development, has the low much weaker and further east. But if Access is right, and it often handles these Tasman systems well, this could be significant. Wollongong, Kiama, Nowra, Bateman's Bay, monitor this closely. Not trying to alarm anyone, but it is worth keeping an eye on. Tomorrow I'll have a much clearer picture of this potential secondary system. Fire danger, no total fire ban days forecast for the next 7 days. But South Australia, Western Victoria and inland New South Wales have very high to extreme fire danger Monday and Tuesday ahead of that change. Wednesday's change drops fire danger significantly. Western Australia, Goldfields, Kalgoorlie, Leonora, Laverton, very high to extreme fire danger continues. No rain forecast, high temperatures, low humidity, increasing winds midweek. Make sure your fire plan is current. Northern Territory fire danger is lower due to wet season moisture, but Alice Springs and areas west toward Western Australia should monitor daily fire danger ratings. Let me cycle back through capital cities with updated information. Brisbane, Monday night 30% showers, mostly patchy. Tuesday 40%. Reliable rain doesn't arrive until Thursday. Sydney, Tuesday afternoon into Wednesday 15 to 30 millimetres, possibly higher with storms. Melbourne, Wednesday, cold front, 20 to 30 millimetres, strong winds. Perth, high pressure in control, beautiful beach weather. Adelaide, Wednesday, 15 to 25 millimetres, clearing evening. Hobart, dry until Thursday, then 10 to 15 millimetres. Darwin, afternoon storms daily, 20 to 40 millimetres possible. Canberra, Wednesday brings that 10-degree drop, 10 to 20 millimetres. Beach conditions, because I know a lot of you live for the surf. Sydney beaches, Tuesday and Wednesday, conditions deteriorate with onshore winds and rain. Not great for surfing, probably best to stay out of the water with those strong winds. Gold Coast, similar story Thursday and Friday when that trough arrives. Perth beaches, perfect all week, offshore winds, Tuesday and Wednesday, glassy conditions if you are keen for a surf. The surf coast in Victoria, Bells Beach, Torquay, Wednesday afternoon into Thursday, strong winds will make conditions pretty messy. South Australian beaches, Wednesday, strong winds and rain, not ideal. Tasmania, East Coast, Bacino, Coles Bay, beautiful conditions until Thursday when that change arrives. Now, I want to talk about temperature trends. The heat across inland Australia is relentless. Birdsville, Oodnadatta, Murray, Coober Pedy, all hitting 43 to 45 degrees Monday through Wednesday. Western Queensland, Longreach, Charleville, Barcaldine pushing 40 to 42. Brisbane hitting 32 to 34 with high humidity, feels like 38 to 40. Darwin humidity makes it feel above 35 despite low 30s temps. Southern Australia, that Wednesday cold front brings relief. Melbourne drops from 32 Tuesday to 22 Thursday. Adelaide 34 to 24. Sydney 30 to 25. Overnight temperatures, Brisbane 24 to 25, very sticky. Darwin 26 to 27. Cairns 25 to 26. Southern capitals have relief. Melbourne drops to 14 Wednesday night. Hobart 13 Thursday night. Adelaide 16 at around the 12-minute mark. If you still haven't left your location in the comments, please do. I genuinely want to help with a detailed forecast for your area. Every comment gets a response tomorrow. Let me talk about model reliability for a moment. Access has been performing really well with East Coast systems lately. Its handling of that January rain event was spot on. The European model tends to be more conservative with rainfall totals, but often nails the timing better. GFS can be a bit all over the place with tropical systems, but does well with cold fronts. For this week's forecast, I am leaning heavily on Access for the Queensland situation, but I am watching that European model track for the tropical low closely. For the southern states cold front, all models agree, which gives me high confidence in that Wednesday forecast. Rainfall totals for the week. Let me sum this up. Northern Queensland and the Northern Territory, 50 to 150 millimetres in storm-prone areas, but very patchy. Southeast Queensland, 10 to 30 millimetres, disappointing but better than nothing. Northern New South Wales, 30 to 80 millimetres, locally higher in those severe storms. Sydney and surrounds, 20 to 40 millimetres. Victoria, 20 to 50 millimetres, heavier in elevated areas like the Dandenongs. South Australia, 15 to 35 millimetres depending on location. Tasmania, 10 to 20 millimetres. Western Australia, 5 to 15 millimetres in the far north from storms. Everywhere else bone dry. The ACT, 15 to 30 millimetres with that Wednesday system. Wind, I should mention wind because it is going to be a factor Wednesday. That cold front brings strong westerlies to southern Australia. Melbourne, gusts to 80, possibly 90 kilometres an hour on the coast. Adelaide, 70 to 80 kS. Tasmania, 80 to 100 kss in exposed areas. These are damaging wind gusts. Secure loose items. Be careful driving high-sided vehicles. New South Wales, Tuesday-S storms could produce damaging wind gusts. Localised areas seeing 90 to 110 kilometres an hour. These are brief but intense. Queensland, if that tropical low develops and tracks toward the coast, winds would increase significantly Thursday into Friday. But again, that S, very uncertain at this stage. So where does this leave us? Monday, Northern Australia continues typical wet season patterns. Southern Australia stays dry and warm. Tuesday, New South Wales sees storms, some severe. Wednesday, southern states get that cold front with significant rain and wind. Thursday, Queensland S trough becomes active. Friday, we're rewatching that potential Tasman low for coastal New South Wales. There's obviously uncertainty around that Coral Sea low and the Tasman development. These are the two systems I am watching most closely. By tomorrow, we'll have much better information on both. The southern states cold front is locked in, that S happening regardless. Look, I know forecasts can be frustrating when models disagree, but this is the reality of weather prediction. What I can tell you is I'll be updating daily, watching every model run and giving you the most accurate information available. Tomorrow S forecast will have specific timing for every location mentioned in the comments, down to the hour where possible. That Coral Sea low will either be developing or dissipating, we'll know which. That Tasman low will either be on the radar or dismissed. Check back for those updates. For tonight, if you are in northern New South Wales, storm-ready preparations wouldn't hurt. Southern Australia, Wednesday's going to be wet and windy. Plan accordingly. Queensland, keep watching. Thursday could bring that rain you've been waiting for. The next video drops tomorrow evening, same time. I'll have detailed updates on everything discussed today, plus responses to every comment with your locations. Until then, stay safe, stay informed, and if you are in an area expecting severe weather, make sure you've got your emergency plan.